Evening, and it's about 9:01 Eastern Standard Time, and we're gonna do a little something different tonight. I'm gonna do a live tutorial, and I typically like all of my calls to be very interactive. What I want to do tonight is I want to push through one of the things that I know that you're trying to do, and it's probably going to be a little less interactive just because I want to get through the basic steps, and it's going to actually go faster for me than actually creating a video. Actually trying to go back and edit is challenging. um, I think I did a 30-minute video and I still have yet to edit. So I said, well, let me come back and try to do this call. And what we're going to do is going to put together a funnel tonight. And I'm going to show you all of the basics that you're going to need to know in order to do that. Now, I want to say a few things here at the start about creating a funnel. And I'm going to go quickly to some slides that I have before I actually get to my screen. And let me get that set up for you. And I'm going to share that with you right now. Okay, a couple of things about Genius Marketing Pro funnels. First, one thing that you're going to have to know is that your product is going to be sold on the Genius Marketing Pro platforms. That means then that for using the funnels, you're not using the JVZoo platform. You're not even using your own buy button per se. You are launching on the Genius Marketing Pro platform. There are a lot of advantages to doing that. And we're going to kind of talk about some of those here tonight. One of those being that you're going to be able to integrate surveys into the funnel. Now, I just want to say this right up front that I'm not going to cover surveys tonight. I'm going to briefly touch on how you put them into the funnel, but that's going to have to be almost a separate call in and of itself. Now, so just at the start, to operate the funnels in GMP, you're going to be selling on the Genius Marketing Pro platform. The second thing is you're going to have at least two things for the funnel to make sense. So you're going to have maybe a survey and an offer, an opt-in page and an offer. But typically, you need at least to have two offers, right? You need to have at least two products in a funnel for it to make sense. That's an upsell and a down. That's a front-end offer and an upsell. Right now, the person can actually turn down the upsell, and then you can send them on to their product. But you need to have at least those two related offers. Okay, does that make sense, everybody? Just so far. So two things, I want to make sure you understand this: that your product is going to be sold on Genius Marketing Pro, and you're going to need to at least two related offers to put in the funnel. Now, if that makes sense to you, I want you to put the number 2 in the question box before I go on. Okay, so while you're doing that, I am going to kind of move to the third point, and that is that the Genius Marketing Pro funnel, right? The whole funnel system is going to be triggered by buy buttons and links. So that kind of goes along with the first point. So in other words, the thing that triggers the funnel to work, that moves people from page to page, is the fact that you have GMP buy buttons and links on the page. Right. So if you don't have GMP buy buttons and links on the page, it's not going to trigger the funnel. Right. So you have to have those things in order to trigger the funnel in order to work. Now, the next thing here is that even though your product is sold on the GMP platform, your web page that you're selling on can be any place on the web. Right. So you can use a WordPress site, you can use a Blogger page, you can use for those of you who use Wix, for those of you who use, any web page on the web. I mean, you can use the GMP pages. I encourage you to do that, but you can actually use any place that you have a web page. You can use and you're using the GMP button. You can exercise the use of the funnels. Now, the most important part of the process is making sure that the buy links, right, are on the pages where you want them in the funnel. So in other words, if you want the front end offer to show first and the back end offer to show second, you got to make sure that those buttons are in the right place, that they're on the right pages. Louis, the answer to that is yes. This call is being recorded. Now, In Genius Marketing Pro, you can add your surveys to the funnel, right? And again, I'm not going to talk in detail about that. I'm going to cover that in another video or another webinar, and I'll show you how to do that. And there are some things that you're going to want to know. And one thing in particular, I'm going to say this to you kind of at the outset, is you have a powerful survey feature in Genius Marketing Pro if you know how to use it. And I would encourage you, I've been talking about on my webinars to get the book Ask by Ryan Levinson. If you can get it on Kindle, I think it's $7. If I think you can get it at the public library, but I would really encourage you to read that book even before you start thinking about surveys, because surveys can be powerful and they really can lead to you increasing your income and increasing that you get into your marketing funnel when you understand how to ask questions, and you understand who to ask the questions to, and you understand how to direct them once they've answered your question. So that was just parenthetical. I don't want to spend a lot of time there, but that's something that you can learn even before we actually get into the tutorials. Okay, Louise read it. Great book. Yep. Now, last thing, in order to use the GMP buttons, you're going to be needing to use HTML code, and that's going to require you to use the drag and drop editor pages, not the template pages, right? So just so you'll know, so if you're going to use the GMP buy buttons, you're going to need to use the drag and drop pages, because you got to put the HTML in there. Now you can still use the template pages. You're just going to be using the payment link instead of the buy buttons. I tend to like the buy buttons in GMP. I prefer to use those, and so I would probably use the drag and drop pages before I use the templates. But just so you'll know, if you're going to use those GMP buttons, you're going to need to use the drag and drop editor pages and not the template pages. Okay, so before we get into get onto the screen, and I start sharing my screen, does everything here make sense? Okay, put a Y in the question box if everything here makes sense to you. If it makes sense to you, just put a Y in the question box, and then we'll go on to start the kind of going through some of the process. Now, here's something else I want to say to you also, and this is a marketing note, that funnels are not magic, right? They're not going to make you more money automatically. And so just because you have a funnel doesn't mean that you're going to make a lot of money on every sale. There are a couple of things that you're going to have to do before you put together a funnel. One of those things is making sure that the offers that you have are closely related. And when I say closely related, that doesn't mean that, okay, well, I have a Twitter offer on the front end, and so I'm going to have a Twitter offer on the back end, and that's related. That may or may not be the case. What you want to make sure, when I say closely related, if you have a Twitter offer on the front end showing people how to get traffic, let's say from Twitter, you want to have something on that back end that relates to what you offered on the front end about Twitter. So in other words, if I showed you how to get traffic, right, then maybe I'm gonna give you something either to help you to convert that traffic, maybe some kind of software, or I'm going to give you some kind of system to help you to convert Twitter traffic, right? So it's not just that you put a Twitter offer on the back end, it's that you put something that's closely related to the front offer. And then when you put another offer on there, you want to make sure that the third upsell is closely related to the second one or the first one. So it's not just about having a bunch of offers in there that makes it magic. It's about making sure that they're related to what you're offering to the person who buys on the front end. Okay, so that I just kind of wanted to get that out of the way about funnels, that they're not magic. They really do require you to make sure that you have related offers in there. Okay, so now let's get into Genius Marketing Pro. And so the first thing that we're going to need to do is, since we're going to be launching on Genius Marketing Pro, we're going to create a product first, right? And this is going to be the first product in our front end, right? So let's say that we're going to offer this front end product, and it's going to be about Twitter traffic. Now, obviously, It can be a product that you created. It can be a product that you have with resale rights. It can be a product that you modified. It can be PLR. And so I'm going to call this Twitter traffic explosion. Right? It's a fictitious product. I'm going to give it a description, traffic from Twitter. And I'm the only one that's going to see this. Actually, your customer can see it, but you want to have this more as description. You're going to be the one looking at it. Traffic from Twitter. Now, when I get to this point, I've got a choice to make, right? I'm either going to deliver a file, and typically you're going to give people a PDF file with links on it, or you're going to be able to deliver a product download URL. So this is going to be a download page, right? So you can do either one. Now, I would say that you probably want to make sure that you are delivering a download page. And you want to deliver that download page because you want to make sure that you use that real estate wisely. So when you do a download page, you also want to put on there any other offers that you have, as well as an opt-in page. Erica, actually, yes, you are going to be, and I'll get to that in a minute. You are going to be selling your own products on your own sites. I'm going to show you how that works in here in a minute. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here in GMP, now I need a download page, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create that inside of GMP. And I'm going to go and I'm going to open up a new tab. And this download page I can put any place, right? So I'm gonna choose one of the drag and drop pages for my download page. Let's say I might use this one. And Erica, you bring up a good point. You can use the thank you page on your site for this, right? That you can definitely use that. Remember that what triggers the funnel are the GMP pages. Right. So as long as you have the GMP links and buttons on there, you can use your own page. Okay. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm not going to fill out this page. I'm probably going to deliver my link from this buy now button. But for now, I just really want to share. I just want to save this page as my thank you page. Twitter traffic. Thank you. Right, so this is going to be my thank you page. And again, you can use a thank you page from your site. Now, if you use a thank you page from your site, and let's say you do it from WordPress, the thing that you're going to want to make sure is that the page is hidden from the search engines, right? So you don't want your download page showing up in your search results because it gets cookie or gets spidered. So if you use your page from other places, just make sure that that page doesn't show up in the search engines. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to click the preview button here. And this is my thank you page, right? So I'm just going to grab this. I'm going to come back and edit it. I'm going to come back and make it into a thank you page. But for now, I just want to create the product. So I'm going to close that out. I'm going to put that into my download URL because that's where they're going to get the product downloaded. Now, what I also need to do is I need a sales page URL, right? So again, I think to Erica's point, now Erica could be using another sales page, right? She could be using, let's say, I don't know, Optimized Press, and she could do that, and she can have her own sales page URL. But if you don't, you can actually create a sales page inside of GMP. So what you're going to do is you're actually going to open another tab, right? And that's right here. We're now going to create a sales page. And we're not going to go ahead and do the whole sales page right now, but we're going to create this new page to use as our sales page. All right, so let's just say I'm going to have a video sales page. So I'm going to bring over a video here. right? And for the most part, I know that I'm going to be using the GMP buy button. So one thing I could do right away is I can actually go ahead and get rid of that button because I don't need it. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and save this as my Twitter traffic explosion sales page. Now, Liani, your Genius Marketing sales pages are not, they're not going to show up by default. But in terms of WordPress, I'm going to have there are 2 lines of code that I don't have memorized. So I'll have to give you those lines of code that you can put in. If you're going to use your sites, if you're going to use your pages on other sites, I'll have to give you that code in another time. I know what they are. I just don't know how to memorize. So I will get that out to you. I'll try to get that out to you when I send out the replay. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click the preview button. And this is my sales page. So I'm going to grab this now. I'm going to come back here. And now I'm going to have my sales page URL. Right, so now my product is ready. And you should see the message that says product created successfully. So then what you're going to do is you're going to go to manage products. Okay, so there's Twitter traffic explosion. Now, when you first start doing these, you hover over this button, you're going to see something that says invite affiliate, but you might not get that message if you have not set up your payment, right? Your payment options. So let me show you something here and that I do want you to see. Because you are going to need to have those payment options set up. So this is the message that you're going to see, and I'll show you this here on my screen here. Not that one. Okay, this is the message you're going to see when you have not set up your payment options, right? So it's going to say, sorry, you can't invite an affiliate. You have to link inside of GMP and link your PayPal. And so I'll show you what that looks like here. You're gonna see this inside of your payment options, and you're gonna have to get your PayPal put in here, the one you're gonna use to receive payment on GMP, and then you're gonna hit the submit and update button, right? And so when you do that, what's gonna happen is you're actually going to see PayPal take you to a place like this, right? And PayPal is basically saying to you that you're going to have to give Genius Marketing Pro the opportunity to either send you payments and then handle your refunds, right? So this is how adaptive payment works, right? So if you do the same thing, you'd have to do the same thing with JVZoo. You have to do the same thing with Warrior Plus. What this does is this allows you to have affiliates and allows you to use PayPal's adaptive payment system. So once you go through the grant permission area, then you're going to actually see GMP tell you this, success. You have a PayPal account, right? And then once you see that, you are then going to want to put in your PayPal information and click save. Right, so you're going to have to set up your payment options in order to get moving forward. Okay, so now let's go back to GMP. And we have now set up our first product. Okay, so is everybody clear on what we've done so far? Okay, is everybody clear on what we've done so far? So while we do that, while you're clear, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually set up the upsell, right? Because the upsell is going to have another product in it, right? So the upsell is going to be I'm going to create a new product for the upsell, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this Twitter traffic conversion. And then we're going to write in converting your Twitter traffic. Okay, so now what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to do the same thing we did for the front end product, right? We're going to have to set up a download URL and a sales page URL. So just in case you missed it before, let's go ahead and do that again. So I'm going to open up a new window. Actually, no, let's not open up a new window. Let's open up a new tab. I'm going to shut these ones up. You should probably not use different buttons on the same offer page. Okay, that's a good question. You should probably not do that. Okay, so another download page. And I'm just going to use one of the drag and drop pages here. And especially if you have affiliates, Z, if you put two different buy buttons on there, there's a high likelihood of you having your affiliates having their commissions taken. Right? So that's really the most important reason why you just wouldn't want to do that. Okay, I'm going to use this as my download page. Again, I'll come back and I'll set it up later. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to call this traffic conversion download page. I'm going to save it. I'm going to, once it saves, I'm going to click a preview. Okay, yeah, the answer to that question is, Scott, would be yes. What you'd want to do is you'd want to have the webinar training on the download page. So just like you see the download page here, you want to have your webinar training set up on that download page you're going to deliver, right? So when you come back here and you put the download URL there, well, that's where your webinar would be. So in this case, you put your webinar training on your download page, and then when the customer pays, they get that download page, right? Okay, so now what we need to do is we now need to get a sales page URL. So we're going to do the same thing we just did. We're going to go back to my pages here, and now we're going to create another sales page. So I'm going to create a new page. And what we're going to do here is I'm just going to create a sales page quickly. Well, actually, okay, so Mudaya, can you add bonuses on the sales page? Sure, of course you can. You can add whatever you want to here. So, for example, let's say that I decide I'm going to put a video, I'm going to do a video sales page. And then just like the last time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this button because I know I'm going to use my own button. And then I'm going to just save this. Oops, I need to put in a page name. So I'm going to put in traffic conversion sales page, Twitter traffic conversion sales page. I'm going to save it. And so Mudaya says, well, can we include bonuses? So let's say that I want to make sure that people know that there's going to be a bonus to it. Well, what I would do then is I would then come down to the page, let's see, maybe page plans. And here's one way to do it. I would, just because it says page plans, you can use this however you want to, right? So you could drag this button in. See, my memory's going short here, so let's see if we can get it. I might have to take some stuff out of here. Okay, so what I would do here is maybe with this one. Well, I said no, maybe not. Maybe that's not the one I want to use. If I wanted to add a bonus, I could probably do. Okay, here's the one. Here's one I'd use. So let's save that page again. Excuse me. If I was going to add a bonus, I would go to page content. I would take this 3-column one. My memory is going short here, guys. Okay, and what I would do here is instead of these guys' pictures, right? I would change their pictures and I'd put the bonus image in there. Put the bonus image in here, put the bonus image in here. I might say here something like, you know, get our awesome bonuses. I mean, you'd use some copywriting there. You wouldn't say that for real, right? Get our awesome bonuses. Put your benefit in here. Make profits faster. Something like that. Okay, and then so this is where your bonuses would be. Right? So once we have that, I would then just save this page. And then we're going to click preview. I hope I didn't mess that up. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you're going to get the sales page. And you're going to put that sales page inside of the URL. Okay, so now you've got your second product there or your upsell. So what you're going to do here is click the add product. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to come back to manage the products. And now you've got 2 products there. So you've got Twitter traffic explosion. You've got your Twitter traffic conversions. So now you've got 2 products. And so now you can do a front end product and an upsell product. Now what we need to do is we need to go to the funnel. Right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to go here to create a new funnel. And we're going to name this funnel. Right? So we're going to say Twitter traffic conversions or Twitter traffic conversion or however we name it, right? Twitter traffic. So Twitter traffic funnel. And we're going to leave this funnel. We're going to actually make sure the funnel is active. And what Genius Marketing Pro is going to now do is it's going to open up to your funnel tree. Now that we have a funnel tree, what we can do is we can start putting these spots, putting our products in the spots on the places where we want them to be. Now, if we know that the front end offer is going to be the first thing we want the buyer to see, and then we want them to go up from here to see the next offer, we want to make sure that both of those pages are in the right place. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by adding the page. And now to Erica's question was, well, can I use the pages on my own system? And the answer to that is yes, because what you're going to do here is you are going to put in your external page URL and then make sure that page is named appropriately, right? But now if we're going to use the pages that we created in GMP, we can use those also. So now what that means then is that we can then go and get that page that we created, which is our Twitter traffic explosion sales page, right? We're going to click save. Now from there, we want the buyer to see the upsell. So what we're going to do is we're going to click add page. And again, if we have the upsell on our own page, we can use that page, or we can use the page that we created inside of Genius Marketing Pro. So now I'm going to get the Twitter traffic conversions page. And I'm going to click save. Now, so what happens is once the person has bought Twitter traffic explosion, they're then going to see the Twitter traffic conversions page. One thing that we can do is that, let's say they decide not to take this offer, Twitter traffic conversions. What we can do inside of GMP is we can go here and we can actually offer them a survey. Right now, I'm just using webinar survey, and I can say, I can have in that survey something like, well, you know, what did you not like about this offer? Or would you be interested in something else? Or is there something else that you'd like to see better? Right? So we can either put a downsell offer here, or we can put a survey. And we can actually put the survey in any spot here in the funnel. Now, again, I'm going to cover that in another video or in another call, but just know that you can put that survey inside of the funnel. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to go and we need to set up each of these products inside of the funnel. And so when we do that, what we're going to do here is I'm going to go to the settings, and I'm actually going to be delivering this product by Genius Marketing Pro. I'm going to share 50% with the affiliates. I'm going to select the product that I'm going to be delivering, Twitter traffic explosion. Now, if I'm going to be using some kind of third-party software or a membership site, that's where I'm going to be putting my notification URL. If I'm going to be using Kanaki, that's where I would be indicating my Kanaki ID. But in this case, I'm not using either one. If this is going to be a product with a recurring payment, I could use that. But we're just talking about a simple product that I'm going to be selling with a single payment. So I'm going to put in here, front-end offer is going to be $7. Single payment. And I'm going to click OK. I'm going to do the same thing now for Twitter traffic conversions. I'm going to go here. I'm going to share 50% with affiliates. I'm going to deliver that product using Genius Marketing Pro. And so now I'm going to put in there Twitter traffic conversions. I'm going to use my own way of delivery. I've already put my delivery URL. I'm not using a membership site or third-party software, so I'm not going to leave that. I'm not going to write anything in there. I'm not using Kunaki, so I'm going to leave that blank. It's going to be a single payment, so I'm going to put that amount in there, $17. Okay, so now when the person comes and they see this offer and they buy it, they're going to be taken to this sales page, and they're going to need to make a decision as to whether or not they see that sales page. If they don't want it, they're going to be sent to the survey. But now we still have a little more work to do, right? So what we're going to do here now is we're going to go to the link area, and we're going to click this link button. And you're going to notice here that for the payment link for the front end product, I actually have a get button page here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click the get button. And since I'm not adding anything to the cart, or I'm not really customizing a button, I'm just going to grab the buy now button. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to collect the generate HTML code. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab this code. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to close that out. Now I've got the button code for the front end product. So what I need to do now is I need to now go back to my front end product and put that button in. So I'm going to close that. And I'm actually going to now go to my my Twitter traffic explosion sales page, which is right down here in the funnel. Right, so I can go right back down here. I'm now going to edit that page here inside of the funnel. And so I like to open up a new tab. So I just like to do that. So I'm going to open up that tab. Let's go back here. Let's go back to my pages. I like to open up a new tab. It's always easier to do that. So I'm going to go to my Twitter traffic explosion sales page. I'm going to edit it. And so what I need to do now is I need to add in my buy button. And so I'm going to add in that buy button by going to the contents here. I'm just going to drag in some content. And when I see my dialog box come up there, I'm going to take out all this text. I'm now going to get my source code button here. And then I'm going to add in my button code. I don't think I grabbed all the button code. I better make sure I got that button code right. Didn't look like I got it all. Okay, I did not get it all. Okay, now I got it. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to put in my button code. Okay, there's the A up there. That's what I was missing. And now once I have that code in there, I'm going to click OK. Now, sometimes I will personally put a center code in there, but I'm finding that I don't need that. So that's just something I do by habit. You don't have to do that. I'm going to go click OK. And there's my button code. I'm now going to center justify it. I'm going to pull it up some. Okay, so now I've got my button code in there. I'm going to click save. And then I'm going to preview that sales page. Okay, so there's my video sales page and there's my button. Okay. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do the same thing for the upsell. Right? So I'm going to save this. I'm going to close it out. And I'm going to grab my links here. Now, we don't have an upsell, so there's not going to be an upsell link there. I'm going to grab my button code. This time I'm going to grab a red button code, generate the HTML code. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all of that, and I'm going to click Control C and copy it. I'm going to close that. Then I've got my button code. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back now to that page, right? The page that I created for the upsell. Now what I want to do is I'm going to go back here. And again, this is just my preference. I like to open up a new tab with my pages. And then I like to go, I'm going to go to my Twitter traffic conversions page, and I'm going to click edit. So I'm going to edit that page. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to draw in a page content button. I'm going to get rid of the we're going to save that page there. Then I'm going to go back to page contents. And then I'm going to take out all of this text. And then I'm going to put my source code in there. I'm going to click OK. There's my button code. I'm going to center justify it. I'm going to get rid of that button. And I'm going to save the page. Okay, so now what I have on my edited page is I actually have my button there. So I'm going to now get the preview. Okay, so I've got my new button code on my page. Now I want to go back here just for a second because I do want to make sure that I explain a couple of things here. Now, I decided to use my page creator in Genius Marketing Pro. And one of the things that Erica asked early in the call is, can I do this on my own pages, on my own site? And the answer is yes. What you must have is you must have the links to the button codes, and you must have your pages in the settings. Okay, so if you understand what I just said, please put the number 3 in the question box with respect to pages. Okay, so just so you'll know, so you can use either GMP pages that you create in the system, or you can use pages that you create on your website in other places. The key is making sure that you have the right code on the right page. Now, if everybody's clear on that, please put the number 3 in the question box. Okay, thank you, Louis. Well, what you could do, David, is you can actually upload a button of your choosing. And the way that you do that is you go to the links area. And in this particular case, I just decided to use the button inside of GMP. What you can do is you can take this link and you can actually put it on a button of your choosing. Okay, so if that's something that you don't want to have, you can you can use it without that, and you can actually use a button that you have on a on an HTML side, right? It's pretty much the same thing that you would find if you're going to launch your product on JVZoo, or you were going to launch your product on Warrior Plus. You'd find those same things on the buttons, right? But again, it is your preference. You could use the link that I'm showing you right there. Okay, so that, everyone, is in less than 45 minutes how you create a funnel inside of Genius Marketing Pro. So I've been true to my word this time. I got you out in 45 minutes. Didn't hold you. So hopefully that has been helpful to you, and that you will be able now to create your products and to put them inside of the funnel in GMP. I was doing probably, I think what I might do the next time is I might, since we are at this point, what I might do is talk about surveys and how to put them in. Oh, wait. You know what? There is one more thing. There's one more thing that we need to do, right? There's one more thing, and I forgot about this. Here's one more thing we're going to have to do. We're going to have to now, here's what we're going to have to do. I need to go here to the down cell, right? I need to go here to the down cell. And the reason I need to go to the down cell, and I need to get the survey page link, and I'll tell you why that is. I need to get that link because I need to be able now to put a no thanks link on the upsell. So in other words, let's say they go here and they say, nope, Charles, I don't want it. Then we need to have a link there that says no thanks, and then they click that link and be taken to the down cell. So here's what we need to do. We need to actually, we've gotten the survey link. Now what we need to do is we need to go back to this page, the Twitter traffic conversions page, and we need to put the no thanks link in there. So what we need to do is to go to that sales page, and we need to edit it. So let's edit that page. And what we're going to do here, I'm going to save it here just for good measure. And then now I'm going to add in what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in the contents, right? I'm going to actually drag this in. And I've got something familiar there. So now you should know how to work with this now. Let's go ahead and just click save. Yeah, Willie, you will have special training for DFY funnels. That is correct. Yep. So I'm now going to get rid of this. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say, no thanks, Charles. I'm going to pass on this fantastic offer. And I understand my toes are going to fall off. You wouldn't say that, so. Okay, so thanks, Charles. I'm going to pass on this fantastic offer, and my toes are going to fall off if I don't get it. I'm going to now insert the link right there. And what I did was I inserted the survey link. Right. So now when they click that no thanks, they're going to be taken to the down sell. Right. Actually, let's see. Let's go back here. I'm going to let's go back to my font size 42. No, not 42. That's way too big. Center justify. I'm going to save the page then. Now I'm going to come back and put that link in there. Actually, the link is already in there. Okay, great. So my link's in here. Save the page. Now my upsell is done because now they decide not to take that upsell. What's going to happen now inside of the funnel is they're going to click this link, the no thanks link, and be taken to the downsell. Okay, Mudaya is asking, can you add a squeeze page at the start of the funnel and then take those who opt in to the OTO? And the answer to that is yes. Right? Yep, you can. You certainly can. And as a matter of fact, I will do an opt-in funnel. I will do that on another call or in another video. Okay, great question, Mudaya. I will you can, yes, and I will cover that. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you very much for being here. And I'm just going to peek my head in here and just say good night to you. And thank you very much for being here, everybody. I appreciate you here on Sunday night. I definitely appreciate you. And yeah, we're going to be doing DFY funnels this week, Eduardo. Yes, sir. You bet it. You bet. Can you upload pages to your own server? Yes. What you would do to upload pages to your own server is when you go to the pages that you have created, right? Let's go to my pages. Again, I like to open up a new tab. And what you're going to do here is you go to this download pages. So you can download the pages into the zip file and then upload them to your server. Yeah, yep. I would, yeah, and guys, I would encourage you, make sure to go in here to the training videos, and yeah, and you can actually get some of this information there. And to the answer to your question, yes, the replays are going to be in the members area. I think the last one I did is, and this one will be also. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you again for being here on Sunday night. I appreciate you. And you can't see my screen. Oh, yeah. Let me, I'll just show you that there. Okay, yeah. So to download, you'd go to that link where it says download the zip file. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you very much for being here. Have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.